Welcome to Real 45 with Stefan and Greg Hancock. We vibe out and have real talk, so tune in and check this out. Yeah, today is a new day. Let's seize it now and get hype. We talking about our careers, our family, and just life. Yeah, share my story with you. Inspiration like every day. Real 45, we gon' keep it live. I keep episodes on replay. Hey, Real 45. Yeah, Real 45. Show them how we do it, man. Yeah.
Hey, this is Greg Hancock, and welcome to Real 45, our second episode. And first of all, what about that intro? That was awesome. Stefan, I didn't even know that you had those kind of artistic skills, man. You're the man.
Yeah, I've been practicing on drums and these rap music things, so I'm on it.
You got some bling about you.
Yeah.
Where did you? No, literally, like we've been trying to find a way to come up with an intro or a song for the podcast. How did you find that, man? Because I was like always, I'm looking for people that can do stuff for me and help me out. So I came to you.
I just found this cool website. It's called fever.com, and found a rapper from the States and asked him if he could help us out, and he did. And it's actually quite affordable too.
You found a rapper from the States. That sounds awesome. You got your people.
Yeah.
No, so fever.com, what you were explaining that to me. So you can just go on their site and ask them to cut you a song, or do you know how it works exactly, or can you explain it?
Yeah, it's this website. You can actually get rap songs, or they can write love songs for your date, or
because when you're in a relationship, every song's written about you.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least you want to do it.
Yeah. Okay.
And they can make video editing, and they can help you with a lot of things. So it's actually a cool site. Fever with 2 R's .com. Check it out. I think it's really cool, and they have fast response too. We got this song on 2 days, I think.
It's super cool. And I mean, it's for us, obviously it's all new, and you hear it, and you're going, I like how it comes in there. You kind of get in the mood, you get mellow, and then the song itself goes, and after a while it totally grows on you too. So we hope it's growing on you people as well.
Yeah, I spent a few hours because they have a bunch of songers, and they have these different kind of music styles too. So we had rappers, they have vocal songs, females, males, and whatever. So maybe I will try another one later on.
Just because you can, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
We might be the cast that just changes our intros, outros weekly. That'd be righteous. Anybody got an idea? Throw it at us. We're ready for it.
Absolutely. If somebody can write a cool lyrics for the Christmas song, throw it at us.
Are we gonna do Christmas sweaters too?
Yeah. Or just follow us on Real 45 podcast at Twitter or Instagram, and you can reach us out there with comments.
That's cool. Can they also get us through Podbean? Isn't it come there too?
Yeah.
Or no? Or is it just...
It's real45.podbean.com, I think.
Okay.
Or on iTunes, Acast.
Right on.
There are a lot.
Speaking of, I saw that post too. We got number 45 in the sporting category of the Swedish iTunes. How rad was that? It's almost so like cool. we planned it.
It was the perfect number for the first episode, but we're aiming for number 1, aren't we?
Yeah, totally. That's what it's all about. So, hey, we got to start somewhere. So,
winning is everything.
Yeah, it's the only thing, right? Yeah. Here we are, episode 2. So, you know what? Anyway, this isn't all about me. In the first episode, we pretty much touched basically on what the podcast was all about, and we were still very green around the ears. We're pros now. I mean, this is episode 2. We've really got it dialed.
Oh,
and, and we're naturals, And no, we've been very critical on ourselves and what we can do. And, we're talking to all the people around us that fire all kinds of fun stuff and good things and things that we can make better, But
that's all about the intro, wasn't it? It was like we listened to other podcasts and they have these cool intro things. We need to get one.
We felt like we needed the intro before we did anything. That was the best part. Get the intro and we'll just try to do a podcast about that.
Yeah.
So that was cool. But anyway, going back, Stefan Janelle, who are you? I mean, we talked about Greg Hancock, and there's people out there that know me from Speedway or something else we've done too. And there's a lot of people out there that know you, and there's a lot that don't know you. So who is Stefan Janelle?
I'm just a regular guy. This is maybe more an internal thing, but we call
The regular
you
guy.
talked about you're in the speedway bubble and the regular guy outside that bubble. I think I have my own bubble maybe.
That's
Yeah,
good to know.
I'm turning 40 tomorrow.
Whoa.
So, yeah, on Thursday. This is Wednesday today.
Wow, welcome to the club, man. Congratulations ahead of time.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. So I'm...
Should we sing?
maybe Josh can sing it.
I might go on Fever and see if I can get him to write a birthday song.
Oh,
for
that's
you.
one of the things.
Yeah,
that you
I
can
might
do.
go back to Fever and get a birthday song for you.
I would love that, man.
What'd you say about Josh?
Maybe he can sing Happy Birthday to me.
Josh.
Josh, we should call him up.
We should
Later.
call him up. Yeah. You know what? Because we got a couple of things we need to pick with him, and he still made a comment. His first reaction when I was going to do the podcast, I said, "What do you think? We're going to do a podcast. You're going to do what?" And then we made more fun with it than anything. There was no messing around. But he was like, "I'm all over the place. I shoot from the hip sometimes. I got all these crazy ideas, and I need people to sort of put me back in my chair." And he was one of the first things I said to him too about this, and he was like, "You're going what?" And then you just, okay, I better sit back down in my chair here. So we got more things to discuss with him, so we'll have to bring that one up.
Yeah, we should do that. Otherwise, I have two daughters, Alva and Vilda. They are 8 and 11. Vilda is turning 11 on Sunday. And
You guys' birthdays are close together. Cool.
yeah, wife Eleanor, and I am a partner in this web agency called West Communication. We're doing websites and cloud services, based here in Sweden, Norrtälje. So that's what I do on a daily basis, working.
That's the regular job, the regular thing for the regular guy.
The regular guy, yeah, sitting on a chair and hacking on my computer all day.
Teach me how to do that. Oh, that's
Absolutely,
cool.
yeah.
And you guys built my website.
Yes, this is actually the second version of it.
Super cool. And it's been awesome. So we basically, that's how you and I pretty much met each other, right? It all
Yeah.
comes from the website, but that
Yeah,
came,
it was from your neighbor, wasn't it, Tessan?
yeah, that's right.
That know Pek, another friend of mine. So you just went to our office one day and said that maybe you can help me with this website thing.
Which is, in a nutshell, that's exactly, huh? She said, you should contact this guy, Stefan. They have a company in Norrtälje that does sites, because we were discussing different things. And long story short, here we are. And obviously Pek was a key member in that too, with other things, other little deals we've been putting together around this area and trying to help a little bit with Roslagen. And you've been very influential in helping me with many, many different things, including the charity, the bike ride, called The Ride.
Oh, yeah.
So that was all inspired by my buddy Andy Johnson there in the States, who pretty much just got the second chance to give himself a better life, a healthy life, if he wanted to be around for a while. So he hated the gym, hated all that stuff, anything to do physical, and loved his food. But the doc pretty much told him, if you want to hang out with your friends and family, whatever, you better shape up. So me and a buddy of mine, Sean Diulo, got him into riding bicycles, and of course Lance King and other, I fire all these names out. These are all the people that are behind that were pushing him to do it. And Andy, in typical fine fashion, he never does anything half beat. If he gets into something, he goes wide open and buys the best of the best. And
So he had his fancy clothes on first time, or?
oh yeah, he had it all. The bike should have been gold plated, but anyway, it became just a deal where we started riding bikes, and he asked me to do a 100-mile ride with him once in California, and I thought, I can't say no after we got him into riding bikes. He lost a lot of weight, he got his health in good shape, just a different person all around. So
Wow.
anyway, that's not long after we did a ride over here in Sweden with Andy. He always comes over here to visit me, and said, let's do that ride in Sweden one day. I said, yeah, sure. So we ended up doing like I don't know, 140-mile ride from here in Norrtälje to up to Gävle.
Yeah.
And after that, it was when you and I got hooked up and started discussing about doing the ride here in Norrtälje and around here.
Yeah, and that is up. I don't know how many miles it is, but about 10 mil in Swedish.
Yeah, like 110 kilometers, huh? So it was, what does that work out at, like 75, 80 Ks, or sorry, 75, 80 miles or something like that?
No.
Anyway, it was still long enough.
You know, it was, actually.
And we're still feeling it in our butts today, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
So we started doing that here to do it around almost like a little tour around Roslagen. And you came up with an idea we should do it and try to raise money for a charity. So...
yeah, for the Heart and Lung Foundation.
That's right.
That was, because I had a little brother when I was about 9, and he died in heart diseases.
Oh, man.
So that's why I came up with the Heart and Lung Foundation, because that's something that I really care about. Mm-hmm. So I think that we raised a lot of money for it, and that maybe was something that connected to Andy too.
For sure. The whole thing kind of, the way it's sort of snowballed, and, these kind of stories are always inspirational and emotional at the same time, but we try to find the good in it, and that's probably one of the great things about why you and I become such good friends, because it's, you never look for anything negative. You're always looking for something positive or inspiring in life, and doing this, learned a lot about each other and learned a lot about what we can do to help other people, and in return, you feel good about yourself. So, anyway, the ride has been awesome so far, and I can say thanks again for that just while we're sitting here.
Thank you.
Because I like to throw it out.
Yeah.
But we'll talk more about the ride in the future, because I think there's a lot of cool things that we can do. And the last one we did had 162 people, so it's growing.
Yeah. It's kind of a lot of bicycles on the roads here in Roslagen, because the roads are quite small or narrow.
For sure. But the scenery is fantastic, right? This
Yeah.
ride that we do here, that I don't want to keep going on about it right now, but it's with the forest and then riding out along the coastlines, and it's pretty spectacular. So
You have fun. It's a lot of people with the same interest, and raising money for the Heart and Lung Foundation. It's amazing.
Super cool. We even had Börje Salming with us the one year
yeah,
too. Remember that? So Börje, the hockey legend and hero. He's bigger than Bjorn Borg and ABBA, I think, right?
Yeah, he's so big. I had just this one cool story about it, because when he went to the ride, we started from Westard's office, and I haven't told the guys in the office about Börje. So when I went there to open the office for Börje, because he was early, and I needed to go home and get something, and when I came back, the guys were at the office, and they were like, Stefan, Börje Salming just came out from the toilet. I was, yeah.
No, was it really him?
Yeah, they were so excited about it. It was fun.
You know what? And he's like, you couldn't find a better human being overall, right? I mean, he's a sporting legend from the hockey world, and wherever he walks around Sweden, everybody knows him. But the Swedes are so rad because they just accept it. He's just, hey, Börje. He kind of gives a casual wave and says hello, signs the odd autograph. But people just respect him for that. And I mean, he's another regular guy. He's like you.
Nah.
Anyway, we love Börje, and I hope we can do more stuff with him in the future, because he's just a cool dude all around. So thanks, Börje. If you ever hear this podcast, we know you listen to every single one of them, and I mean, this is our second one. So
exactly, yeah. And if you don't, you should.
Yeah, you should. I'll give you a call later, man. Anyway, so moving on.
Yeah, speaking of moving on, I just read in social media. We haven't met for a couple of days. We haven't talked. So what are you going on in race in Poland? You don't go on a race there anymore, huh?
No, I've chosen to pull out or withdraw from the Polish Ekstraliga for 2018, and it's I have my reasons, and I gave it a lot of thought, a lot of consideration, and for me, it's I have my reasons, and I prefer not to say too much right now. I'll say more about it when we get to the end of the month, and elaborate more on what I've got in mind for the future, at the moment, it's I wanted to try to focus a little bit more on different things, and I got some other ideas. So this by all means doesn't mean that I'm going to exit my speedway world. It just means that there's something new in the making in the speedway world, and we'll leave it at that.
Are you sure? I mean, I want to hear more about the other stuff that you have going on.
Do you want me to lie to you?
Nah.
Because this is supposed to be raw and uncut, right? So
yeah, exactly.
Don't try to push me.
All right, but I also heard that Piraterna and Deckarna, that you're going to ride for Deckarna instead.
That's right. I mean, for the speedway folk that are hearing this, they know that Piraterna from Motala, the Pirates, had definitely had the most odd year that I've ever had with them. We've had nothing but good times for many years, and this year things just didn't pan out at all. I mean, couldn't have been more opposite to what it's been, even with such a great team. So it just shows you, it just doesn't matter what kind of names you got on the team and how it's put together. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't click for one reason or another, and that's what happened this year. Ended up in a really bad situation and quite low in the tables, and financially the club took a huge hit, which with my injury as well, part of the way through the year there, I couldn't finish the season for them to try to help sacrifice anything we could. Excuse me. And in the end, financially they, on the verge of bankruptcy, but I just found out just now within the last 24 hours myself that the local commune, the council from the Motala area there has stepped in, rescued the club, and whatever it is, politically and business-wise, they've managed to put a deal together. So the club will survive. They're going to be able to pay their debts and pay all of us riders back for all the work we did for them, and the club will continue on next year in the Allsvenskan, in the lower division. And for me, I have nothing but great respect for everybody in the club, all the fans, the sponsors, and the teams that I've ridden with, and the management. It's easy to say that I didn't want to leave that club. I was happy there. And as it is now, I was forced to go. And when the phone rang from Dakona too, my good friend and longtime friend, I should say, was a former competitor in British League, Swedish League. Probably raced him against him in Denmark, World Championships, Grand Prix, everything. And it's Peter Carlson. And he's now the team manager of Dakona. And by the time I was going through all these different things with Poland too, fortunately the phone had rang with a couple of other clubs as well, and I thanked them for their interest and good cooperation, but I wasn't ready to make a decision at that stage, and Dakona came in with a good offer. They said all the right things. It's a good club, it's got a great history, and with Peter Carlson in there too, for me it's a win-win. So thanks for that, guys, and I look forward to a new mission, a new team.
Wow, cool, and congratulations.
Thank you. New Shorvi.
As
you guys say in Swedish.
Exactly. Is there I was wondering why you don't ride for Hallstavik, the Rospiggarna. I mean, if you consider it's your home track and when you have your European base in Norrtälje, it should be like a long way down to Småland.
I should have figured you were going to say that, being a local guy too. Why don't you come back to Hallstavik?
Yeah, I want to ride here.
That would probably be the most obvious choice and the most make the most sense overall. But it didn't work out that way. That wasn't an offer that was on the table to begin with. However, I had some great years in Hallstavik with Rospiggarna, lots of great years, and from different managements that were there, from really good times with, obviously the Holman paper was huge for the club. Is still probably a massive supporter financially and as a sponsor for the team. So we had a lot of success there. I went through a couple of tough years with them too, with financial issues they were having, but we rode it out and managed to stay alive, and I had really good times. I had such a network of people, with sponsors, with mechanics, friends, my family. My wife's family is from that area. She's from that area. So, there's a lot of strong ties. I feel like a real roast pig in that sense, and we always made jokes about it, but you get attached to the club. I became a huge part of the club for many years.
Oh.
And when I chose to leave there to go to Piraten, at the time that I did, I was after 14 or 15 seasons in Rospigana.
Wow, that's a long time.
That is a long time. And it didn't feel that long. But when I left, I think it was probably the best move for both myself and for the club itself. They needed new inspiration. Not the old guy, as I always tell everybody. No jokes, but they needed some new blood, some new youth, new people, and it's proven. Look what they've done. Look what they've got now, and they have all new people. They have good backing. They have a league title already to their name, and they're definitely they've got a future ahead of them too. So that wasn't an option, and you're right. It would have been an easy home track instead of making the trip down to Småland, but it's only once a week.
Yeah, exactly. But you get a lot of time to think then when you're in the van.
That's right. Yeah, there you go. That's now you know what I do when I'm in the van.
Exactly. We should talk about what you do in the van sometime.
I only think. I do drive sometimes too when the mechanic with Oscar's not driving, but
So when the season starts, we will get more and better episodes of the podcast because you have a lot of things, time to plan it.
Oh yeah, I have lots of thinking to do, and we don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So, which is probably what Josh would love to hear, because he's always, oh no, you're thinking again. Mm-hmm. Even my mechanics say that too. Don't think too much.
Nah, maybe not, but it's good to think about.
For sure.
I just have one more question. Then we could call Josh up.
We have to call Josh.
Yeah, but we have this World Championship. Because I know that you're not qualified this year due to your injury. Mm-hmm. So what is the situation about World Championship for 2018? Yeah,
that's the good question, and for me, it's for my whole career, I've always talked about the World Championship is the big carrot. That's the one that it's only about me, right? It's not about being in teams and stuff where you have 6 other riders and managers and people that you're all working together. This is about you and your group of mechanics and your own sponsors and your family and all those. It's all about you. So, and I have mechanics from all around the world, or actually all Polish guys now, but that are putting all their work and effort to this American dude. And I didn't qualify this year, obviously, because of my the injury to my shoulder, but I'm waiting for a result this weekend. The last round of the Grand Prix is in Melbourne, so we'll have a new world champion, and then you'll obviously see what top 8 riders actually qualify overall, and then on Sunday they'll release the the wild cards that they hand out. They hand out 4 wild card positions every year to riders that they feel add value or have earned a spot that probably didn't get a chance to qualify or whatever the reason it may be. So I'm really hoping right now, fingers crossed, that I'm going to get one of those spots. And if that happens, then we're back in business again for the World Championship. And I always said if I didn't qualify in the Grand Prix, I didn't deserve to be there.
Oh.
So this is a real tough one for me because I didn't qualify, and I know I didn't get the full shot at it because I didn't get to race the whole year. So I'm gonna have to take this one as a free card and go like, please give me the shot at it, guys, so I can get another shot at the world title, because that's what it's all about for me. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I can see that. But talking about your injury, how is your shoulder? Is it?
It's actually now I'm almost a month into the recovery or after the operation, and started rehab this last week and a half, and so far it's better than expected, which I'm really, really happy to say. I'm not just saying that for broadcast reasons. It's really, really, the surgery went really good. The doctor Nordensen from Gothenburg there in sports med, they did such an awesome job, and the guy was a specialist. I was referred there, and now I know why. So I got great therapy now, going from a therapist in Capio and Sofia Hemmet.
Wow.
A lady there by the name of Christina, who's really super informational, super influential. She inspires me every time I go there, as much as she hurts. It tries to make you hurt, but she's really good at getting into your head and making you understand that if you work hard, you'll get a 100% recovery. So that's where I'm headed.
Cool. So
that's it, man. So we're on the ball right now. We got to hang on it a little bit, but after Sunday and by the 31st of October, we'll have lots of information. So let's call Josh.
Should
we do that?
Who is Josh? Maybe they don't know who Josh is. We're just talking about Josh.
Josh Gudgeon is has taken over as my manager. I had Richard Child, who worked with me for many, many years, and now Rich is residing back in the U.S., so Josh has taken over the reins and does most of all the media for me, basically, and then takes care of a lot of other things around the tracks and things at Grand Prix especially. So he does a lot of the updating on the website, which you're quite familiar with Josh now too, or he's more familiar with you guys.
Yeah.
So I always bounce ideas off him for feedback. He also is working alongside Monster Energy too, so he's got his feet in many different places. So
Perfect.
I just want to call him because we want to put him on the spot, And,
this is the first time that we are going to call somebody up, so we hope that the sound is good.
Yeah, and you know what else? Josh, his first impression of my podcast and remark was one thing, so why don't we get his first impression on the intro?
Oh, we just call him up and just play the intro for him?
Yeah, let's do that, and let's get his first impression and see what he says. I'll get him going, so just chill with me for a second here. We'll play him up for a minute.
Oh, you should put the speaker on.
Yeah, I got it. I'll let him know that he's got to just be quiet and listen first.
Hello.
Hey, is that Josh?
It is.
Josh, you're on the mic. You're on BAM right now.
I'm on the mic, going live straight away.
You're going live straight away. And don't say anything. I just want you to listen to our intro, and we just want your first impression right after it goes, okay?
Listen carefully.
Okay.
Welcome to Real 45 with Stefan and Greg Hancock. We vibe out and have real talk, so tune in and check this out. Yeah, today is a new day. Let's seize it now and get hype. We talking about our careers, our family, and just life. Yeah, share my story with you. Inspiration like every day. Real 45, we gon' keep it live. I keep episodes on replay. Hey, Real 45. Yeah, Real 45. Show them how we do it, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Show him how you do it, Josh.
I had no idea that you were a rapper as well.
Dude, see? Hey, never underestimate me. I'm an American, right?
I'm learning something new about you every day.
So, Josh, we just wanted your first impression. We made jokes about the first one, the first podcast, and I just told everybody, obviously, I said, when I mentioned this to Josh, he said, "You're going to do what?" And he knows I like to shoot from the hip sometimes, so we like feedback. And now we want your feedback on the intro.
I think it sums you up really well because you are a pretty street person. You're pretty out there, pretty down with the kids, and it's a very down with the kids intro. So I think it suits.
Oh, dude, you're the man. You know what? We can't really beat him up now. That was perfect. He said everything I wanted to hear.
I actually think next season when we have to submit your song for when you win a race in the Grand Prix, I think that should be the song we submit.
Oh.
Real 45. Hey.
Yeah.
We just switched the anthem.
Well, the best part about what you just said is that you're confident that I'm going to be in the Grand Prix next year. So.
Well, you never know, do you, especially in this sport. But I'm hopeful. My fingers are crossed, as I'm sure yours are.
It's either that or you're not you're not telling us everything. Or do you have friends in high places?
Well, friends in some places. I won't say high places. Friends in some places. Well, they say they're friends, but
that's right. Yeah, exactly. That's that'll be another topic, right?
Yeah, they're friends now, but if we don't get a wild card, then we'll review that one.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, hey, welcome to our second podcast, dude. And
thank you. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Thanks for giving us a minute here. And Steph and I, we're really polishing up on our podcasting skills from round one. And we just wanted to introduce you as our first guest. You're like our first official telephone guest. You haven't come into our studio yet.
That's an honor.
Yeah.
No, not yet. You'll have to. Obviously, there'll be a hefty fee involved when I come in the studio, so we'll negotiate that one.
Yeah, that's why we're stoked. We thought if we just call you and put you on the spot, you can't say anything. You can't even say, no, I refuse to speak until I talk with my manager.
Yeah, you've caught me on the hop, exactly.
Gotcha. Right on. That's cool. No, so hey, we're having fun right now, and we've just been talking a little bit more about, first of all, with our intro, and then we've been talking a little bit about Stefan and who Stefan is, and kind of explained our situation, and which obviously you're involved in that now too with our web work, and then we've gotten into a little bit about where we are now with my very, very recent announcement of not riding in Poland, and then a new club here in Sweden, and waiting for the Grand Prix. So do you have any thoughts on what's your first thought about me making all these sudden changes?
I think, and obviously we speak a lot privately, but I think it's a good thing. So I think it's about time, probably, that someone did something a little bit radical, and maybe kind of put their foot down, I guess, and made a bit of a change. I think the contracts you boys are tied into are crazy, and the demands placed on not only you, but I mean the mechanics. I can't believe the workload they get through. They do a full day's work on Saturday, and then they have to jump in the van on Saturday night to go and race on Sunday. It's crazy. I don't see how it's sustainable. So I think if by you making this decision, perhaps in the long run will make things a little bit easier and a little bit better for the other guys, then I think it's great. Yeah, I think it could be, hopefully it's the start of maybe people making a few more sensible decisions and not putting so much strain on not only the riders but definitely the mechanics. Yeah,
well, I mean, we talk about that with Grand Prix stuff all the time, with mechanics and how much work they got to do, and a lot of people don't really see that. It's these guys are kind of the forgotten ones, so they talk about the riders being tired and getting from A to B, but they forget about the guys that spend endless hours in the car to get to a race, to prepare everything for practice, and then clean everything up, and then spend all day at the stadium preparing everything for the race and go racing, and then jump in the van right after the whole day's worth of work and drive another 15 hours to the next venue to take the bikes out and wash them really quick so that they can race again for the next event, and then have about a half a day off again, and they're off to Sweden or wherever they're headed. So I mean, this is, we're not looking for pity at all. This is our choice to do all these things, but it would sure be nice to, if they could be, in the ideal world, to make it a little bit more feasible and thoughtful for everybody.
And those guys as well, they do it under massive pressure. It's not, GP is such a high pressure scenario. Everyone's looking for the tiniest change or advantage or a way they can get ahead, and then that all finishes and you kind of breathe a sigh of relief and hopefully you've done well out of it, and then they get in the van, and then Polish League Speedway is just as high pressure, and there's people on their backs, and every point is kind of so vital. So it must be so tough for those guys. So as I say, if maybe you making this decision makes some people sit up and take notice and go, oh, maybe there's something not quite working as it should or as it could, then it's obviously a positive for everyone else. So I know you like being a trendsetter and blazing the trail, so hopefully you've done it again.
Yeah, what, with a podcast, you mean?
With a podcast, with everything. Podcast, merchandise. You just love being first.
Oh, my God. Stop it. My head's growing. No, but it is like you said there, and I mean, it's for me. I also keep the modest role. I'm not out to set a trend or anything like that. This was my choice to do this, and it's obviously a lot of things have been talked about for many years to try to make it a little bit better for everybody. But in the end, here for me and my guys, they'll always do whatever I tell them to do. But in the end, everyone's beat and they're riding on the edge. They're on the limit and they're tired. And sometimes you show up at the racetrack and you need your guys to be 100% ready before you put your leg over the bike and thinking they've just been driving for like 18 hours. And is that bike that I got to go out there and win all 5 heats on? Is that thing ready? Is it anything going to fall off? Did they miss anything because they're tired or stressed? And And yeah, I just maybe it's my age. That's another. You never know.
Yeah, but I think if you said to anybody in any job, you know, it doesn't matter if you work in an office or I know you're a waiter or you work in a bar, whatever. If you say to them that you have to drive 15 hours to get to work, and then go and do your shift as normal and be, you know, really on the ball and as sharp and as good as you can be, I don't think there's anybody who could do that. It's just normal. It doesn't matter what you do. So the demands placed on them, yeah, it's crazy. I'm in awe and admiration of them.
Oh, absolutely. Perfect.
Hey, Josh, I have a question for you.
Hit me.
How is it to work with Greg as a boss? How is he?
It is really, and I'm not just saying this because he's on the line, genuinely, but it's really easy. It's, you know, we get on and, you know, he'll hit me with 24 ideas and I'll go, really? You want to do that? Like now? And he goes, yeah, let's do it. And then we have to think of a way to make it happen. But it's good fun, and there's always, you know, we've always got something else to think about, or there's always a new challenge, or there's always something that, you know, that he thinks of in the shower that he wants to make happen. Because I know
He talks a lot about the showers.
And then we try to make it happen. So yeah, it's really good fun, and it's cool. You know, cool working with not only Greg, but obviously with you know, with the mechanics and everyone involved, and sponsors, and, you know, friends, and, you know, I get to meet a lot of cool people, and it's really good fun. So obviously we didn't have the best year this year. I'm hoping that I'm not the jinx. So we'll see how we go next year, and if I've still got a job.
That's it. And I told everybody too that obviously your involvement with Monster too on the side as well. So there's you've got your feet in a lot of different places, which works in handy for a lot of things we do. But yeah, we're very respectful about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. You know, Monster have been really, really good to me, and I think I've worked for them for 7 years. I think it is now. So yeah, they've been good to me, and obviously before I kind of came on board more with you, I made sure they were cool with it, and from their point of view, it works really well. So yeah, I've got quite a nice setup. So I'm pretty lucky.
Oh, that's cool, man. Well, you know, it's worked for me too. It's worked out good. Josh has just been with me really for this year. Has been the turning point where he's working all the time, and it's gotten bigger and bigger. And you know, like you said, I've always got a lot of ideas, and sometimes I just need to be put back in the seat. And Josh, I put a lot of things on him for good feedback. And yeah, we got a couple more things on the go too, but we'll leave that until 31st of October and see where we go with the Grand Prix first. And we don't want to speak before we, you know, don't count your chickens before they're hatched, right?
Exactly. It'd be pretty, pretty negligent if we came out and told everyone we've got these plans and they weren't able to happen. So yeah, so not long now to wait. Fingers crossed it all goes our way.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. So, hey, man. Well, listen. As always, it's you and I talk more frequently than probably Stefan and I. So I'm gonna give him the. I don't want him to get bummed out that I'm ignoring him or something. So I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah, well, give Stefan the attention for now, and I'm sure we'll catch up soon.
That's awesome. Hey, thanks a bunch, Josh. Have a great day, buddy. And
thanks for calling.
Yeah, we'll be in touch soon, bro.
Nice talking to you.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
See you, buddy.
See ya.
Cheers. Bye.
That was cool. Did you?
It was really cool. And that's the cool thing with John. It was nice to put him on the spot. He's always ready, you know. We tried to throw him off there, but no, he probably understood what's going on now, and that's the cool thing.
Does he always have the answers?
You know what? He's a journalist as well, so he's always ready. He's prepared, but he definitely knows what he's going to say before he says it, and is careful. So, but he's also the kind of guy, he can be very critical too, to a certain thing. Yeah, of course he speaks his opinion about things, but when he's talking for me, he knows he's got to cover all areas too, so he'll never jeopardize putting my name or Monster's name or someone else's name that he's working with. He'll never put them in harm's way whatsoever. So he's very good like that. So yeah, it's been good so far.
Cool. It will be really interesting to see what happens in the future.
Absolutely, for sure.
And talking about that, you're talking about the 31st of October all the time, that you can't say anything about it. But what happens more than the 31st of October is Halloween.
Yeah.
And that's a quite big holiday for you guys in the US.
And you can say that again. Obviously, it is Halloween. So didn't think about that. I keep saying about the 31st of October because it's the end of the official racing year for everybody, and there's a lot of things that are going to happen on that date. But yeah, it is Halloween too. So maybe I just have to dress up and like, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe in Donald Trump suit.
Suit or the hairdo?
Or maybe both.
Yeah.
The hairdo. Maybe.
I could rock it.
Yeah, but I was curious about how did you celebrate Halloween when you grew up?
You know what? I mean, Halloween is huge in the U.S. as it is pretty much worldwide. It almost feels these days. Not everywhere, but even here in Sweden, they do a lot for Halloween, and people start to dress up and do their trick-or-treating. But for us, it was massive, always. I just remember, I was bad, too, because I'm a pack rat, first of all, so I save everything.
Oh, pack rat, okay.
We used to go out with our bags or like a pillowcase to collect candy knock on the neighbors' doors. And it was gangs of people, you know. I mean, where we lived, it was not like where we have our base here in Sweden. It's pretty much in the country, so there are not many people around, but... in California, there's people everywhere and kids everywhere. So it was like gangs of people going up and down the streets knocking on doors. It must have cost people a fortune to buy candy for that night. So it was pillowcases full of candy. And I mean, I didn't want to share with anybody. I would like save it and I would just give a little bit out here and eat it. And I mean, that candy would be old. I think my mom would throw it away when I was at school or something because I'd get all bent out of shape. But it's one of them things, you know. It's loved Halloween. You always dressed up. You know, there's always something cool going on too. Whether there's a haunted house at someone's house, or you were going somewhere and people were scaring you down the middle of the street, and you know where you had to change your underwear a few times before you got home. But it was.
Do you remember the scariest outfit you had?
I can't say the scariest. No.
The funniest?
No, because I hated scary movies.
Oh.
I still hate scary movies. They scare me.
So you look at okay.
So I didn't want to be scary because I'd probably scare myself, right? So no, I don't remember that. I was always the guy who wanted to be like the sporting kind of dude or a motocross dude or I don't know. I definitely did the Dracula and some sort of blood coming out of the mouth at some stage, but I can't say I was scary.
Nah, but you don't have to be scary. It's just an outfit or.
Pretty much. Have you ever dressed up?
I haven't. Yeah, I have. Maybe but that's a Swedish character called Olyckan.
Okay, explain that to everybody.
It's like this bicycle wheel thing over your head, and you had toilet paper around you, and one of those overalls where you have in the garage, you know, the sacky thing.
Yeah.
And you have these blasters over your face, and then I had my wife, so she was the Olyckan's wife.
So Olika basically is like an accident or a crash, or
exactly, yeah,
if you wanted to translate it, right?
Yeah.
So you were the crash guy, and then you had your crash wife.
Yeah.
Did she look equally as good as you, or equally as crashed?
She was pretty.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Cool, that's right. So you're. I like this one. You can be like the crash guy. Right.
Yeah, that was us. How do you celebrate today with the kids?
Depending on where we are with work status, you know, whether we're still over here in Sweden for or somewhere in Europe for finishing out the year or whatever we're doing. A lot of times I'm already gone because we go to Australia for the last Grand Prix and then try to go straight home from there because it's the end of the year. Yeah. So many times we are home for Halloween, or we get home on the day, you know, and then you're jet lagged and everybody shows up to start collecting candy from your house, but it's you're half asleep and haven't got anything. But here, you know, if we're around Sweden, period, you know, the kids go and meet up with their friends and go trick or treating around the cities or housing estates of some kind, and there's always sort of that kind of fun. But it's still dressing up and pretty much doing the same thing that we did as kids, but just in a little bit different culture.
Is there always Is there this? Do you eat the same thing? Is it like a tradition that you eat something special on Halloween?
Candy.
Candy.
Very special. Very special.
No, but it's not like the turkey or
No.
no.
That's Thanksgiving and Christmas pretty much for us when we do turkey or ham or what's real traditional foods. And I think that has sadly in where we come from in California, you know, I think it's so international these days that there's such a mix of people and different cultures are getting mixed with it, but turkey's always on the table at some point.
At some point. Oh, that's cool. You know, we have this new thing, 45 seconds, that we should bring into the podcast. Maybe you can explain more about it.
We've been trying to come up with a really cool idea for doing various things, but I mean, the real 45 has got so much to it for us, you know, and this little segment that we've been talking about, 45 seconds, is basically like in 45 seconds, would you? And then we have a series of questions. Basically, it can be from anything, you know, whether it's a color or kids involved, family, friends, work. It can be related to anything, environment. And the idea is that when we start getting guests on the show, which will be very soon, we want to have a segment where we can fire random questions to know a little bit more. It's nothing new. People are doing it all over the place. But we want to do it with people that we know. And maybe some of our listeners or the people that we've been involved with, they don't know, they don't get to get this side of the person. It might just be about the sport they're involved in or the entertainment they're doing or the work job they're doing. We want to, you know, we're not, like I said, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel or the reel. We're just, we just want to have some fun with it and see if we can tongue-tie some of these guys with the questions we ask them and
get to know them a bit.
Absolutely. I think it'd be a
them a
blast. For sure. It'd be awesome. Let everybody know them, and I think they'll have fun with it, too.
I would like to do you.
Really?
Yeah, I prepared some maybe silly questions, but some fun questions, I think.
So you didn't put this on the agenda for me to look at before, I see.
I haven't.
Okay. All right. Like we have an agenda anyway. That sounded good.
You're trying, but I put some down here, but I just need to start 45 seconds.
All right. Here we go. Let me put my...
Maybe the first question is a 45 seconds answer. I don't know, but try to answer them as quick as you can.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Ready? All right,
Ready?
so, yeah, I'm ready.
Starting now. Tell us what it's like to win your first championship, the first feeling.
Oh, overwhelming. That's probably the best. Yeah, I'll keep it short. Overwhelming.
How many children do you have?
3.
How many cars do you have?
Ooh, I have enough. Yeah, I have enough.
Enough. Okay. How many bikes or speedway bikes do you own?
8.
8. How tall are you?
In inches or in metric?
In
I'm
metric.
I'm 5'6". What is that, like 165?
5?
Something?
Okay. Hot or cold?
Hot.
Good or bad loser? 45 seconds.
Good.
Good. Wow.
How many questions? How many questions did we get out of that?
1,
That
2,
wasn't
3,
many.
4, 5, 6, 7. 7.
7 questions in 45 seconds.
But it was the first time. Maybe I will get faster next time.
Can I do it again?
Yeah, in another episode.
All right. Cool.
Absolutely.
Well, I think this is going to be rad, and I hope that we can make this even more interesting. And we have other ideas for the segment too. So
Yeah, maybe or more personal, or it depends on the guest.
that's right. And again, you know, we'll say that when we announce the guests that we're going to come, we're always welcome to questions from everybody out there that wants to know something about this specific guest. If you want to know something about them that you've never had the chance to ask them, we'll try our best to get through the questions when they're here or with us or on the phone and ask them, you know, because normally it's not just coming from the journalists. We really want to get more sort of lot, rub shoulders with them and just hang with them rather than ask them about everything that they just do. So, you can fire questions on the Twitter or Instagram on our Real 45 podcast.
Absolutely. And we will try to announce the guest before we record the next episode. So we will try to get the guest list ready as fast as possible so we can get it out there and you can add questions.
Yeah, and we're working on that list now, and we're getting people together. We haven't got the first guest that we can announce to you. We can't officially say it right now, but we will come out with it on social media before the next podcast. And our ultimate goal now, guys, is we'll have a podcast every week. One that will be one episode released every Friday is our mission.
Yes, that's the mission.
So, and these will range, this one turned out to be a little longer than we probably anticipated, but once we get going, I just can't stop talking, so Stefan will have to learn to shut me up.
I don't think it's a problem. I think that's the cool thing with podcast. But this will be more or less the end of this podcast, this episode. Do you have anything else that you want to add?
Hey, you know what? We're learning as we go, but we've got a lot to say, and we're having fun with it. We're learning all the time. We're inspiring people because we're getting inspired as well. So just want to say, hey, thanks to every one of you for listening in. We'll see you next week. And from my point of view, have an awesome day and a week ahead, and don't forget to keep it sideways.
Perfect. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram on Real 45 Podcast.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, you guys.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Bye.
Stefan.
Thank you. Great. Bye.
See ya.